Uh, I fucking might be single all of a sudden. Pretty sure that Marina just fucking dumped me. Basically, we had a date yesterday, and it was supposed to be anytime after 6, sometime after 6. And she didn't text me the whole day to tell me that she was running late. So I came home after 6 to do this fucking FaceTime call, and she was just not there. And as it was ringing, I was going, well, why would she answer? She's just gonna stand me up. Because she's so inconsiderate, because she told me at one point that she wanted to be friends while she had a boyfriend, and that's so inconsiderate. So, but also in her defense, when she stood me up for the date before then, it was because there's a 3-hour time difference between where she lives and I live, and I didn't know that, so that kind of cleared up. But there was still that inconsideration of telling me to be her friend while that guy was her boyfriend. And also I was like, but you said you wanted to have 5 boyfriends. And she's like, I never said that. But she volunteered to be one of 5 of my girlfriends right at the very beginning, which would imply that she would have 5 boyfriends. And not that I have other girlfriends, but... And then, so we were supposed to have a date yesterday at 6 p.m. and she was running late, and I was like really upset after she didn't answer, and she just texts after that, oh, I'm running late. But she could have said that before that happened. Like, if I was out and about and I came home just to be home for the date, she would have not even cared about that. And I was pretty fucking zanked about that. And I told my cousin, and my cousin's like, yeah, how long would it take her to text? Like 2 seconds. And meanwhile, I'm making all these excuses for her. Like, she has this gang stalker client who she's doing her hair, and she's like complaining that her hair is not right, and probably making her pay out of pocket to fix her hair, which pretty much disturbed me. Like, I'm pretty sure she's a gang stalker, but sometimes I think she's a TI and a gang stalker, and sometimes I think she might just be a TI. And so I was kind of like making excuses for her, like, oh, that sucks. Like, some woman with hair down to her butt is making you re-dye her hair and stuff. And then basically I was kind of fucking zanked about it. And then later on, I was basically gonna go to bed, because after she texted she's running late, she didn't even text me again for like 3 hours. And okay, we just need to pause. I just found out that you can do iMessaging on iPad and iPhone. So basically I have like a phone now through my iPad and a fucking FaceTime. So I did FaceTime with my cousin tonight, and I can like FaceTime people and fucking text on my iPad. Isn't that cool? So what was I talking about? Something. She doesn't even text after I'm like clearly upset. She doesn't even text to give me like status updates where she is. And she had been saying, oh, let me get in texting with you so I can have contact with you anytime. And then so I make the iPad my texting machine so that we can text anytime. And then she's just not even texting me to let me know where she's at. And so I'm basically going to bed, and I'm like cranking off my tack, basically going to bed, and heartbroken too, feeling like she stood me up, she's not even going to call, and I'm listening to Osho to try to find some peace. Like, at least Osho's going to help me, and he's going to give me something better than a relationship, and I can find peace there. And then while I'm listening to Osho, I start cranking my tack to Marina, imagining her sliming some other guy, putting it from her her rear dumper back into her front dumper, and then back into her rear dumper again, and getting a yeast infection. And she calls me mid crank, and I'm like, You know, I'm like, I'm not even expecting it at that time. You know, I already have this like knot in my stomach that turns into like a balloon. I don't know if you've ever had that, like a lump in your throat, but a lump in your stomach. And it like went right up to my sternum. And I thought, I'm so turned on right now. Man, like I'm like really attracted to her, and I don't even like the way she's treating me, and I'm still so turned on, and it's so weird. And so she calls. I'm like, hey, I'm just cranking my pecker to you, and you know, I didn't even think you're gonna call. And so she's like, oh, I feel so ugly, you know, and she turns the camera off. And I was like, well, turn the camera back on. And so she turns the camera back on, and she's super tanned. And so I'm just like, wow, you're really tanned. And she's like, yeah, I go tanning. And I was like, do you want me to put my pecker away and like have a conversation with you? And she says, yeah. But first, you know, I kind of accidentally show her my pecker, and she says, you know, let me see it. So I show her it, and I show, you know, I'm thinking, it's kind of small, you know, and then I put on my foreskin restoration device, and I do like a close-up, and I show her like the frenulum where it's been cut off, and the rigid band where that's been cut off, and the scar line, and I'm showing her the mucosal tissue, the difference between above and below the scar line, kind of educating her how a circumcised guy can't have an orgasm. And she said, does it even feel good? She had no clue what I was talking about, which most girls don't. And I said, yeah, the oxygen is the most corrosive element on Earth, and it destroys the mucosal tissue, and anything above the scar line is basically rendered useless by the oxygen. And so it is pleasurable, but it's like a storm within a teacup, or it's like a sneeze. It's not what it's supposed to be. It's nothing comparable to what it's supposed to be. As someone who's regrowing your foreskin, you would laugh and you would cry sympathetically to a snipped person who says that they can have an orgasm. You would not even try arguing with them. So we have like a pretty good conversation, and she's like, I'm so ugly, you know, I don't want you to see me. And I'm like, I think you're pretty hot, you know. And I think she just meant she was unkempt because she had just been working all day. And this is the part that we just basically pretty much, I think, broke up about. I don't know, but I kind of feel like we just broke up. I say to her, can I see you from the profile view? And she's like, no, because, you know, I don't even want to say it in case she's watching, and I don't want to hurt her feelings, you know. But she has a big nose. And she's like, I have a Spanish nose and I don't want you to see it, or something to that effect. And I'm like, let me see it. And she kind of turns like this, but she doesn't turn all the way. And of course, you know, I already think she has an 8 face and a 12 body, so it's like no big deal to me. And having a Spanish nose means that you have a big ass. Like, that's like a good thing. Like, that's what I like. And so I'm not really thinking too much about it, but I'm saying, did you hide the fact? Because I've seen your videos. Did you angle your face from a straight forward this whole time to hide the fact? And so anyways, we have a good date last night. It's sweet, it's precious, it's fun. I wake up this morning and we talk about fetishes, and you know, we have like a good conversation this morning. And then I talked to my cousin on FaceTime, which, you know, we have like a 3-way FaceTime session with my mom and my cousin and her boyfriend, like a 4-way, but he was kind of smoking weed and stuff, like he kind of left. But they moved to Halifax, so like I got to see their apartment, and they're coming home soon. But my cousin's always really good about like texting me on time and stuff, even though she runs late. Like, if my cousin and I hang out, she's always going to be late, but she also will get me gifts, and she'll come pick me up. Like, she'll be late, but she'll come to my house and pick me up and take me out for a walk. And like, I'm just playing video games anyway. And so she was like, yeah, that's really rude that she didn't message you. And so I'm kind of feeling like, really treated very well by my cousin. And then I go to Fairview Park Mall and I get some, I think they're called lo mein noodles, or I don't know, they're like skinny noodles. I'll show you because they're really good. And the worker there, she's like really nice. And I'm thinking, I wonder how often you have sex. I'm thinking that about the worker. And I'm thinking, I wonder if you don't have sex that often, but you can appreciate a good conversation with someone. And, I also think back to my ex-pig, who was a really wonderful pig, and how lonely I felt sometimes with her, even though it was so wonderful. And how just having sex with someone isn't really that big of a deal. Even though it's a huge deal, it's kind of like air. You take it for granted. When you don't have it, then you really don't take it for granted anymore. But when you do have it, you kind of take it for granted sometimes. I'm not exactly sure what I'm saying. Well, anyways, so I'm feeling like fucking validated, I guess. And then I say to Marina, tonight, I say, I told my cousin you have a really big nose, or you have not a really big, just a big nose. And she says to me, don't be mean to me, because that's not going to work. And I was like, okay, but let me just tell you one other thing too. After I was upset yesterday night, when we were talking, she never said anything in the way of sorry for not updating you, sorry for making you worried, sorry for making you upset. She said, it's so nice that I have access to you whenever I want. Just off the cuff, oh, it's so nice I can just text you whenever I want. As if to say, you had no right to be angry. You had no right to think of me as so inconsiderate that it was my fault that you were upset. And I felt like her feminine power, like her bigotry, like her feminine supremacy at that point. I was like, whoa, you're in control. And then so tonight I was like, yeah, I just told my cousin you have a big nose. Anyway, how's it going? And, as I'm saying it, I'm going, in the back of my mind, I'm saying, this is not something you're supposed to say. Like, this is going to lead to problems. And I'm not aware at this point that I'm even resentful and that I'm expressing my resentment, which she then takes as manipulation. To which I then respond, when I told you I was upset, you brushed it off, so I'm going to have to use the sledgehammer to actually say something that gets under your skin. Because just saying, ouch, you hurt me, you're so inconsiderate that that goes right over your head. So I'm going to say something that actually makes you feel hurt feelings and guarded, just like me. So that you can say, oh, I don't like how it feels. Because when we were on the phone, she's like, karma is real. Karma is real. She said it 2 times in a row. And I was just like, okay, so you're going to call me a manipulator and say that I'm trying to manipulate you into a relationship by being mean to you? Well, with someone as inconsiderate as you're being to me, I would guess that you probably haven't even lived with anyone. How much would someone even tolerate being treated like that? And you're telling me that I'm trying to manipulate you into a relationship? Why would you say I'm a manipulator? Why wouldn't you just think I'm angry at you and expressing my resentments? So basically I told her then that, she's like, I'm really secure with my flaws. I'm really secure with my flaws and I accept my body. And I was like, well, you didn't last night. Last night you were telling me how you didn't want to be seen on camera because you were so ugly. And how am I supposed to know that today you're suddenly confident and secure? But that was kind of the fluff. The real heart of it was really that I felt like resentful towards her. And I said, if I can't tell you this as your boyfriend, who could? I mean, isn't this a good boyfriend move to tell you the things I resent you for? And then to also tell you that if you didn't wear makeup, I'd like to kiss your nose? Like, I'm resenting you, but I'm still here for you. Like, I'm not abandoning you. And I need to show you how to act right, because we live in a matriarch, and you frankly are so good looking that people will just eat your shit, and you don't even have a clue how it would be if people treated you the way you act. And I'm also a 10, and I also need you to treat me good too. Like, it's not a big deal for me to live with someone who's a 10 who would want to have a family with me. And I don't know why you'd think that me being mean to you is different than you being so inconsiderate to me that it hurts my feelings. Like, you can call me mean, but you can't call me inconsiderate. I can call you inconsiderate, but I can't call you mean. And so what's the difference? And so, as far as I know, so I basically told her, I gave her a thorough lashing, basically. She probably blocked me. I thought, I bet she's not even reading this. I sent her like 20 messages or something, but it wasn't like droning on. Like, each message had a real point in it. And I said, you know, and if you dump me, I resent you for making me get to know you, and for breaking my heart, for being so inconsiderate. And I'd also say thank you, that it was like really lovely, which it really was. I mean, basically we broke up. If we broke up, which I kind of think we did. I'm kind of preparing for that. I mean, but let's just hypothetically say this means we've broken up. We broke up based on a fight. Do you know how wonderful that is? It wasn't based on gang stalking. It was based on a fight. That gives me confidence that I could actually meet someone, you know? And, you know, I still love her, really. I hope, like, I'm still suffering. Like, the fact that she's not messaging me back, I'm still suffering. But I'm also kind of okay with it, because I said my whole piece. Like, I said all my resentments. There's this book called Radical Honesty by Brad Blanton. And he says you have to tell people what you resent about them, but then you tell them what you appreciate about them too. And you don't just do it like a drive-by and go, fuck you, and then you run away. You don't do that. You tell the person how you resent them, and then you stay with them and tell them how you like them. And it's not a compliment sandwich, okay? It's not like a manipulation tactic. It's showing them that you're there, that you're not abandoning them, basically. And so if she abandons me, I can get over that. And so that's where I'm at. So that can hurt me, and I think she might just be angry, and she might come back at some point. And in the meantime, it kind of hurt. It actually really hurt my feelings. Like, when she said to me, I have my guard up now, and this is a red flag, what you just did. And I actually had like really hurt feelings when she said that. I was actually like emotional. And I also got excited for her too. Like, last night, it was the first time I've gotten excited for a pig in a long time, since Chelsea. And I felt like this big balloon in my stomach, and it was like this song by Blink-182, She Always Kept Me Waiting. I can't remember the melody, but it was something like that. With Chelsea, I was always wondering, is she gonna message me or is she not? And it was always such a gamble, and I was like so excited, like maybe she will. I never took for granted that I had Chelsea, and that was what made it, you know, that was kind of what made it really fun. I never knew if I had her. And then when she would talk to me that day, it would just be like I'd be so happy. And I had that with Marina too. And so that was really, really exciting. And so I would definitely have to say thank you to her for that. Like, no hard feelings. Like, if we broke up now, no hard feelings. And it actually like empowered me. Like, this relationship actually empowered me. And like, I told her, like, given your diet, I wouldn't want you to like pretty much like, you know, pee on me or something like that. You know, I think I'd be good with just some, you know, I don't want to get my YouTube channel deleted, but you know, you can keep your, whatever's inside your guts, you can keep it there, considering your diet. And I might do a bit of prodding around here and there. And she hearted that comment, and I kind of knew she would. And when we were fighting, I kind of brought veganism into it, which maybe I shouldn't have. I was like, the reason I know you're not vegan is because you're so inconsiderate. And, you know, I don't know if I was kind of a jerk to bring that up, you know. But it was a point, you know. I was like, I know your diet just by your personality. So, yeah, what am I gonna do now? Well, I've pretty much, I don't think I'll be chasing her. Like, I've said all my points, so I think it's just I'm waiting to see if she's gonna talk to me. And then in the meantime, or moving forward, there might be a transition period. I might have like some like waiting time where I'm just kind of like, you know, kind of maybe, I don't know, I want to say hurt feelings, like, please message me, come back, I'm really sad, you know. But when you say your piece, you kind of can let go of needy feelings when you express your entire feelings, and you express it well, and there's nothing left over, and you're nice too, and you're also saying, and I'm here, like, if you want to wash the makeup off your nose, why don't you come to bed and I'll kiss it and we'll go to sleep and we'll continue on, like, I'm still here with open arms. You know, when I can say I'm still here for you, then that's the most I can really do. And so then moving forward, I've been reading that Nikola Tesla, oh, and get this too, I'm pretty sure I got punished for showing her my tack. I'm pretty sure the gang stalkers, or, you know, not the gang stalkers, but the handlers, or the program itself, the fascism that controls the people. I'm pretty sure that showing your Tootsie Roll on camera is not allowed. I'm pretty sure they have like seriously fascist rules, like for real. Like our tenant, I'm not complaining here. Our tenant has loud music sometimes. I'm not complaining, okay? It's fine. Like, it's literally not a complaint. If I were to have loud music too, there would be big punishment for me. And the idea is that I say, well, the tenant's a gang stalker and I'm not, so I'm not allowed to do it. That's kind of like the fascist part of it. And so there's a lot of things that get punished that are so absurd that any sane person, any person who's not a fascist, would have like no clue. Like, they'd be like that's crazy. Like, you're getting punished for that. So I've been reading that Nikola Tesla was obsessed with his diet. And I really like Nikola Tesla. And Nikola Tesla did not like Einstein. And so, you know, I don't like Feynman. Richard Feynman, I don't like Einstein. And, you know, I like Einstein at the end of his life, when he said that he'd rather come back as a plumber or something like that. And Einstein was into the animals too. I'm pretty sure Einstein said something like that, like stop slaughterhouses. And, but people like Einstein and Feynman, they're very inconsiderate people. Because they basically, like, Feynman was asked, why did you keep working on the bomb? And he's like, well, I just started it, and then there was no reason to do it anymore, and then I just continued doing it. At first I started doing it because I thought I was defending people, and then that reason went away because something changed in the war. But because I had already started the project, I thought, well, I started it, so just finish it. And you can see his kind of arrogance when he talks. he's a very arrogant person. And I think his wife had cancer or something. She had a very short time to live. And they did LSD together, and I think they tried to... I forget if they tried to recreate it using hypnosis or something. But they had some kind of way they worked through it, or they may have worked through her cancer somehow with philosophy or something about... they had a weird way of defining time. How their time together was... I forget, really. But there's something I liked about Feynman, but ultimately, what was it that I liked about him? Well, you know what it was? It was that he bashed psychologists. He had psychologists over for dinner, and he reamed them about how unscientific they were. And I loved that. So Nikola Tesla was obsessed with his diet. And I love being obsessed with my diet too. And I could probably have apples as my base and then add in like mangoes, dates, lettuce, strawberries. There's a lot of things. And I don't have to eat that much either. I could drink like 10 liters a day and just use fruit as a sort of maintenance. Like Hippocrates says, food be thy medicine and medicine be the food, except to eat when already sick is to feed the sickness itself. That's the full quote. And yeah, well, what about just eating a little bit? I think that could be good too. So I might go back to not cranking my tack. And and I increased my meditation in my tack. It was great. See, because meditation and love are two sides of the bird. Meditation is a wing and love is the other wing. So Marina gave me love, and it helped my meditation get to an even higher point. It helped it get right up to my chest. Like that bubble I felt when I thought she stood me up and I was really turned on. It was like this bubble in my stomach, like a lump in my throat, but a lump in my stomach. It was like, I think it was some kind of love. It was some kind of love. And it helped my meditation a lot. And then my meditation went down into my Tootsie Roll. And then when I cranked my tack, it felt like one giant convulsion. Rather than many tiny convulsions, it felt like one giant convulsion where there was traction on it. It felt more congruent. It felt different. It felt qualitatively different. And I thought, oh, this is what I've been missing. This is closer to back where I was before I was traumatized. And Marina gave me the key. Very happy about that. So I told her, I don't know if she thought I was just being sexy talking or something. I said, you give me love and I give you meditation, and that's our deal on the cosmic plane. And I meant it. Those are the kind of things that the thank you is so big you can't even say thank you. The person won't even know how much you mean it. This has been years since I've had this. And so today I meditated effortlessly for about an hour, just in my Tootsie Roll, listening to Don't Think, the slow version by Slove on YouTube by Chemical Brothers, which I posted online. Really great. And I've been getting some harassment lately. I don't know why. Usually if I say something bad, I get harassment, but I've been getting harassment. Ultimately, lately, I don't take it personally. I feel a lot more friends with society and with the gang stalkers. I feel like no one really likes gang stalking. I feel like the gang stalkers don't like it. And, the police gave me a siren this morning, but they gave it to me right after I had woken up. It wasn't before I woken up. And so it wasn't sleep deprivation. So I thought, you guys actually care about me. You're doing your best to not harm me. And that actually is a way of encouraging like good behavior. And I'm not for a single second giving gang stalkers credit for encouraging good behavior for anyone. I'm giving human beings who are stuck in gang stalking roles doing their best to do the least amount of harm possible credit for not interfering with my life so that I can keep doing as well as I can. I'm saying that I feel like we're all in prison and they are doing their best not to harm me, and that lets me have hope that I can do better and better, that I can live in spite of being gang stalked, that the gang stalkers care about me and they don't like the fascism that they're under either. And so that helps in a couple ways. One, I feel cared about and I feel like a sense of community. And two, I feel not sleep deprived. I feel like I can get enough sleep and I can meet someone, like as evidenced by Marina. And even if Marina's a gang stalker, and therefore it is relevant for me to take care of myself. If I fail, I can say it's my own fault. And if I succeed, I can say it's my own success. And that's pretty good. Like that, you know, that's responsible to feel like that. You should feel like that. And so therefore, should I get back on fruit? Yeah, I think so. Because after you do a water fast for 9.5 days, and then you feel your health declining again after eating all these junk food things, it's not so great as you think. It's like your first 4 beer. If you quit drinking beer and then you go back to drinking beer after like a couple months, your first 4 beers are gonna be amazing. But those first 4 beers, what about the second 4 beers and the third 4 beers? After a while, you're gonna say it's not so amazing. If you meet your desire, you're gonna be miserable. If you meet your need, you're gonna be happy. And meeting your desire is sweet in the beginning and bitter in the end. Meeting your need is bitter in the beginning and sweet in the end. And so get on the fruit. Yeah, I agree. Now, have I had really depressing moments? Like, Marina was just fucking with me this whole time, and she doesn't really love me, and everyone's against me. Have I had those kind of moments? Yeah, especially after I came down off acid. Yeah. Did I feel completely humiliated? And that anyone who says something nice to me, I actually take it as mocking me? Even though when I'm in a good mood, I say that's really nice and that really means a lot to me. And then later on, when I'm in a bad mood, I say, oh, you were just lying and you were just mocking me the whole time. Yeah, that happens. That's actually really sad, and I felt really, really bad. But the fact, if Marina and I are now broken up, if we're actually broken up, the fact that we broke up over a fight makes me feel like she wasn't just fucking with me, and it actually really, no matter what happens, it actually it really validates me. And so I actually feel really cool. Like, part of the reason I'm even talking about this is literally just to brag. Literally, I'm like, yeah, we just broke up just so you can know that we were, just so you can know we were, liking each other and that. And I'm a little bit worried to say we were in a relationship, but certainly that's what I was calling it, And so, and she said enough stuff that you wouldn't blame me for saying that. She said enough sweet nothings that you wouldn't say. You say, oh, Z-Bubs, you're delusional. Okay, I think I could say this without it being me just, lying. And She did say to me once that she thought we could get through it if we had a fight. So, anyways, yeah, it will be lonely if she breaks up with me. It will actually. I will have. We just fought tonight, so I'm kind of in the heat of the moment. Everything's kind of surreal for me still now. So probably tomorrow, if she doesn't message me, I probably will notice that. Every time I turn on my iPad, I probably will be looking if she's messaged me. And I probably will be in a lot of emotional pain if she hasn't. And it's probably going to be painful for me because I like her more now than I did before. And so I don't know what to say. So the only thing I can really say is how to move forward if that happens. So I mean, yeah. Anyways, I hope I wasn't too mean, I hope I wasn't too mean. I don't know, I'm just... Anyway. Okay, well, okay, bye. But you know what? Saying I hope she wasn't too mean, I think that might just be my own neediness. Please, I'll just eat your shit, okay? Can I just eat a couple pounds of your shit and then you'll forgive me? And it was really the most off-the-cuff comment. It was, I'm so happy that I can text you at any time, that she said. That kind of makes me feel like my resentment just came out naturally without me even trying to be mean. I wasn't trying to be mean, I just was mean because of all the resentment. And it was that hurt feeling I had about not being kept in the loop, and then the confirmation that your hurt feelings are your own fault, and I'm just so happy I can just text you anytime I want. Meanwhile, I won't do it when it matters to you, and I won't care about when it's upsetting you that I didn't do it. So I don't think I was too mean. I think I was, fair. And part of me, the middle part of me, not the sides, says, if that's what ends it, good, and end it sooner than later. So... yeah, I do want to acknowledge the feeling of going, oh shit, what did I just do? I just fucked up and it's all my fault. I do want to acknowledge that feeling, but I also want to defend myself and justify why I'd be mean to begin with, why I'd be resentful to begin with. That when I said it just plainly, there was no response. So... it's time to bring out bad Bobby. And then bring out good Gary and say, but good Gary is here too. So, anyways. Now, one thing you might notice too, hold on one second. Oh yeah, okay. So one thing you might notice too from the difference between the last video I made and this one is the last one I was on LSD and my intelligence was about double as what it is now. And that's really difficult to lose that much intelligence. But on fruit, I can get back to LSD level. And that's fucking unbelievable. And the way it feels to be like that is like everything I'm saying, I'm figuring it out as I'm going along, going, oh, wow. It's like everything is a surprise and everything makes sense, and it's coming from my unconscious somehow, and I'm making it conscious. And it's like I'm making associations without even trying, and I'm figuring out meaning, and it's a wonderful discovery feeling. I'm always discovering things and surprised, and that's one of the main motivations to eat fruit. It's to make my brain work properly.